If you look at the petition in 2013, because I usually tell people that a good student in strategy must be good in history. And if you're poor in history, then history can repeat itself without you knowing how it goes in your favor. This petition has been won or lost before even the pre-trial is done.
What do you mean?
What do I mean by that? Remember that when a court went to Supreme Court in 2013, they wanted some evidence to be included into the court records, but the ruling was being done in this pre-trial conference by saying expunge this, expunge that, expunge that. Mm-hmm. You know, in politics, there's what you call game theory. In game theory, there are players just like in football. There is a player, for example, Raila Odinga is a player, Ruto is a player. Then we have the rules, which is the constitution and all those guidelines that guides electoral process, just like FIFA has rules, FIFA rules. Then we have what is called the payoff. What do you want to get? Which prayers are you giving? Mm-hmm. So you are a player, and which prayer are you asking? Are you asking for nullification? Are you asking for arithmetic error? Are you asking for Chebukati to be legally found guilty? All those things you're asking for. Those are the payoff that actually you can get out of this situation. Then there's the referee. And of course, in Supreme Court here, we have the super referee. In football, this is called VAR. Once VAR said there is no penalty, there is nothing you can do even as a referee. So IBC as a referee is asking, uphold the election of President-elect Deputy Ruto. Yeah. Super referee will determine whether that is true or not. That's now VAR. So we are going to await VAR to start playing the video from 11. Now, what do I mean that this election is won? This petition is won before it begins. Any war, whenever you go for war, you win a war before. You go to the Bible, Jesus says you have to know how many soldiers you have. You have to know the soldiers of the opponent. You have to know what it takes to win the war. So which questions have you asked? Which evidence have you brought? So when the pre-trial chamber will begin, you'll hear they'll dispense some things by saying, okay, you have 26 lawyers, we shall give you only 4. Now, if you are in football, you said, I've carried 34 players, and you're being told you can only sub 2. You know already, if you had some super subs, they are not going to come to play. Mm-hmm. So the person who knew that there is no need for having 34 players, and they only carried 2 super subs, they have advantage. Now look at the filing of the petition which has been done. Like he said, some people are thinking that the 3 are the dissenting, but are actually the majority, but the majority actually are the 4. And if you go by that, when the court was filed, you find that Raila has, the petition he has given, there are 9 petitions. Then the issue of IBC responding as IBC, who is the IBC responding to the petition? Do you know that? That already there is a tactical mistake here being made by either IBC or Kenya Kwanza team by allowing the Cherera 4 commissioners actually to give petition, to respond to the petitioner as IBC. Because now, what should have happened is that Chebukati could have constituted all his commissioners, 7 of them, and could have responded as the first respondent to this case. And IBC is not that. Look at now, Chebukati and his 3 commissioners are responding individually. So when the court will go and say, okay, this is the petition, the respondent number 1 is IBC, it is Cherera seem to represent it, and Cherera is actually trying to agree with the petitioner, then you realize that the rule of the game, the arena, has been set to favor somebody. So I'm trying to say that everything you're going to see in the pre-trial chamber, rules of the game, rules of engagement, that will determine in a very big way how everything will be dispensed. Because, for example, there's agreement. Are we going to consider the total votes cast as the turnout or valid votes, including small votes? I'm sure already that has been asked. Immediately they said, we will consider every single vote cast on 9th of August to constitute the percentage requiring the 50 plus 1%. Once you hear that, it has taken a certain direction. So depending on how everybody put their petition, depending on how everybody saw the ecosystem and aligned themselves to win this case, the case has been won before. Just like this election, when matrix are the one which were contracted, then these Greeks were contracted to print ballot papers, and they were done by Chebukati. All this scheme was designed for a certain game to win or lose.
Let me bring